Hey everyone. Wow. I mean, I've been so excited about today. Thank you so much for joining us. I know if many of you have been to kind of webinars. I'm not a fan where they have like these endless intros and stuff. So we're going to keep things very short in the start and just go straight to the value point. We're going to cover some really interesting topics. I'm also going to give people like a minute or two to join. So while we're waiting for this, let me just ask you, and Arman, you can all say, hey, let me ask you guys 1 second here. Hey. Let me ask here, who of you, have anyone here been on stage before? What was the gig? Did you get paid? How much? And hey guys, we are all speakers here. So, use the chat room. Let's get to know each other. Like, what's your name? Have you been on stage before? Yeah, let's make a little bit of noise here. All right, let's see. I have the chat room here. Yeah, we're going to keep it 1 more minute. So yeah, super excited about tonight. Super excited. Okay, let's see. Arman, you also I know we've been working on this event for the last few weeks, and it's going to be interesting, right?
Yeah, of course. I'm looking forward so much to this. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Yeah, nice. Okay, we're gonna give people 1 more minute to join, but yeah, who here has been on stage before? Where do you live? What's your name? We all are either speakers or potential speakers, so let's make some noise. Just use the chat room. I think everybody here loves to talk, right? That's why we're here too. So yeah, just use the chat room here. All right. I'm a person from Norway, Arman too. You're traveling right now. Arman, what's your gig tomorrow?
I'm going to speak in front of students in a high school.
Yeah.
And the day after, the same in another city.
Okay, nice. Yeah, you travel a lot. We're going to speak about the traveling here. Okay, so we have Anita here, neutral therapist. I've done a small talk to a group of 60 people on sleep, and you loved it. Okay, it made you want to become a speaker. Anita, we're going to share with you how to get on stage and how to be amazing on that stage today. We have Jeffrey here, mainly at company events. Not much paid work, but hoping to change that. Okay, Jeffrey, I'm going to show you today how to contact conferences and which conference to contact, so you can reach those events that has good budget. So that we're going to cover step by step, and I will show exactly the same email template I use every week to get on conferences. Okay, we're going to start in 1 minute. Anyone else who want to share here? And yeah, Jeffrey, London, cool. I lived 1 year in Chelsea. I loved it. London is a great city, great speaker market too. All right, cool. And Aaron Omar's calling. Osman, I used to be a teacher, but not a very good one. Okay, I want to hear that story one day. Okay, let's see if we can do something here. Okay, guys, we're just gonna start. So again, I'm not a big fan of these long intros where a lot of fluff. We're gonna go straight to the value points. Today we're gonna cover 2 things. One is how to be great on stage. That's gonna be covered by Arman. Then I'm gonna cover how to get on stage. You can be the best speaker in the world. Doesn't help if you don't know how to get on stage and hopefully get paid good for it. A bit myself, I've been doing over 110 gigs for the last 12 years. I have agents in multiple countries. My TEDx reached almost 100,000 views. Right now, my level is around 3,000 euros per keynote. Of course, all travel and expenses covered. I was named the founder of the year in Nordics, and I've been very passionate about public speaking for a long time. Our next speaker, Arman, he's going to introduce himself now, but he had a bit different history. He went from prison for some very serious stuff, being like this, to now, speaker of the year, family father, inspiring thousands people. Arman, why don't you also introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Arman Vestad, and Norway. I have worked as a professional public speaker for 5 years now. I do that full time. My company had approximately 160,000 euros in revenue this year, and the same last year. So I'm get used to now, got on a pretty good level, but I'm reaching for more internationally. I do 3,500 per keynote in Norway, and aiming for more when I'm getting abroad. And as you said, I was named Speaker of the Year in Norway among 700 speakers at the biggest booking agency in Norway. So I'm looking forward to help you guys to really connect with the audience, because that's my strength. I can, because if you cannot connect with the audience, they will forget you like this. So I will teach you how to connect, so they will remember you and rebook you one more time and several times. So enough about me, Max,
Yeah.
for now.
Yeah, I was gonna add, like, I spoke at some conferences with Arman, and I seen him live. And at one in North Norway, it was 400 business leaders in suits, ties, very seriously, and they were laughing, they were crying, they had tears in their eyes, and in the break, everybody was talking about Arman's speech. So this session with Arman now, how to connect in that way with the audience. I brought my notebook because I was taking notes too. It's just so powerful. I can't wait for that. So thank you for intro, Arman. Okay, so let's just look at who will benefit for the next hour we are planning to spend together this beautiful Tuesday night. You never had a paid speaking gig, or you had a few paid speaking gigs and you want to get better, you want to get more bookings and increase your fee, plus learn some tricks. You will benefit from the next hours. Or you can be an expert coach entrepreneur, you want to build a brand, you want to impact the world. This will also be a very helpful 1 hour webinar. And again, we're just going to share a lot of good insights, tips. First, let's just make a definition, because this webinar is about how to become a successful paid public speaker. But what is our definition of that? It's someone who goes on stage 20-30 minutes. You deliver value and you do it in a wow format. So people talk about you, they book you, you invoice 2,000 to 3,000, sometimes more each time. You give the same talk over and over again. You don't have to invest hours and days before each presentation. Travel costs is covered. You get to speak at awesome conferences, connect with people backstage that are cool. Most important, spread your ideas to our businesses. In my eyes, and also I think Arman is agree, like a successful speaker is very good at upselling. You can upsell a workshop, coaching, consultancy, eventually become master of ceremonies. It's a lot of things you can do to upsell and create a stronger business as a public speaker. The best part is like anyone can do it, and I really mean it. I'm going to show some really cool cases. Usman, one is how a teacher translated into a 4,000 euro speaker. Cool to have a teacher here. You just need to match your knowledge with the right audience and deliver it in a nice way. At the end of the day, giving a keynote is about packaging. It's a product that we're selling to conferences that's solving a real business problem. The thing is, like, of course, you have to find your style, and that is you. I've seen speakers who are calm and serious, nailing it. I've seen people with humor and energy. That's me. I have a lot of jokes, memes. People can be emotional, or like Arman, who combines all of these four. You can be a speaker, again, just being by serious or mix and matching this, but you need to find the style that is you. Best, and it can also be a part-time. Like most speakers on Parlisten and in general are part-time. They make 30 to 40,000 euros extra a year by just speaking at 10, 12 events. That's has been my goal. It's be cool today. We also hear from a full-time speaker, but it's a very cool way to use speaking to generate a really nice amount by doing something you really enjoy. Like Lily here said, no, Anita, sorry. Anita, you just said you just loved it so much. This is about public speaking. Once you're on stage, you just get completely hooked. Today, we'll answer questions such as how to sell to conferences. Like, how do you find a conference? How do you contact them? How to sell to corporate organizations, how to sell to businesses, how to find an agent and build partnership with them. A lot of the bookings to me and Arman come now from our agent. We are represented by the same in Norway, Tallinn. How to build powerful stories. This is an area that Arman will really touch by. And how to create a talk that gets you rebooked again and again. Okay, Arman, in 30 seconds, before I give you the word to you, I just want to share like the reason I'm enjoying public speaking so much. Just 20 seconds on that. One is you're able to stand and spread ideas. You're able to influence, and all your thoughts and ideas, you can influence 300. I speak at stage proof of 800. It's a really powerful and meaningful connection you get with people. The other one is you get to meet other cool people backstage. Like here, I met Ken Segal. He worked right hand to Steve Jobs. And being able to sit there backstage as colleagues, not like some like Apple nerd like I am and coming and pitching him. We're sitting backstage and he's just telling me about all these like things he did with Steve that were crazy. For me, it was like, wow, this is so cool. So I met some amazing people, and like Arman backstage too on conferences. Then it's of course like I come from a very simple family. We were quite poor when I was young, so I'm not used to luxury lifestyle. But being a conference, You get picked up by a Jaguar, they drive you to a spa hotel. Like, you can always often you can negotiate to cover the cost of your wife or your girlfriend or your family. So I'm not gonna hide, like, those luxury perks of the live speaker lifestyle. They're good, those 10, 15 times I'm on stage. But most important, speaking for me is about sharing ideas. Here I spoke in front of 300 kids in Oslo about entrepreneurship and what business that they can start this summer. And after the talk, I see these kids running up to me. Max, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, but I'm gonna start to sell lemonade. I'm gonna cut grass to my neighbors. And just thinking, like, my talk here inspired 300 entrepreneurs to start their journey. Like, I could do this for free. Of course, it was good that they paid me 3,000 euros. I'm not gonna say no to the money, but I could do this for free. It's so much fun being a speaker. So guys, let's jump into it. First section of Arman, how to be insanely good on stage. Second section of me, how to get on stage. And after this hour, by 8 o'clock, most of you will be able to know what to do to be a successful speaker. Arman, the floor is yours. I'm so excited about this. So excited about this.
I'm sitting across from Kari's desk. My hands are sweating. My heart is pounding. She's holding my CV, if you can even call it that. She looks up at me, pushes her glasses up her nose and says, "So let me summarize. You have been a drug addict, a criminal. You've spent years in prison. You had delivered weapons to a triple homicide. And you have 200,000 euros in debt. And you want this job as a debt consultant at the public government?" I nodded. Everything she said was true. "Yes," I said, "more than anything." Kari looked at me, then down at my CV again, then back at me. She literally held my future in her hands. And then she smiled. "Tell me," she said, "when you were running your drug operation, did you keep track of your income and expenses?" What? Wait, that was not the question I expected. But that question changes everything, because Kari wasn't looking at my CV and seeing a criminal. She was looking at my life and seeing skills. Today, I'm a six-figure speaker. I've spoken on TEDx stages, to governments, leadership conferences, the Norwegian Defense. I delivered 75 talks a year. I was named the Speaker of the Year in Norway for 2024. And I wouldn't be here without Kari. Not because she gave me a chance, but because she saw my story differently. And that's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to tell your story in a way that makes people see you differently, remember you, and want to bring you back. Not just for applause, but for transformation and change. Because when you master your story, the bookings will follow naturally. So let's go into it. So why did I start with the story about Kari? I could have started by saying, "Hi everyone, my name is Arman, I'm a professional speaker, and today we are going to talk about storytelling techniques." Boring, right? Instead, I took you straight into a moment, a real office, a real person, a real turning point. And I'm guessing some of you felt something. Maybe you remember your own nerve-wracking interview. Maybe you thought about someone who believed in you when nobody else did. Maybe you felt hope. That's the power of story. And to be honest, here is the truth. People don't change because of facts. I know that sounds counterintuitive, especially if you come from business, science, or academia, but think about it. How many times have you shown someone the facts, the numbers, the logic, and they still didn't change? That's because the human brain doesn't work that way. We are not logical creatures. We are emotional creatures who use logic to justify what we already feel. And that's why stories are so powerful. A good story bypasses the analytical brain and goes straight into the heart. And the best part, when the heart is open, the mind will follow. So let me be very clear about what we're building today. You're not learning how to tell nice stories. You will learn how to move people. And when you move people, they remember you. And when they remember you, they pay you. That's the business case for storytelling. So let's break down exactly how to do it. All right, let me give you the framework. And this is a model I use in every single talk I give, whether it's 10 minutes or 60 minutes. And it's called relate, feel, and act. 3 steps. Simple, very powerful, and you already experienced it in the story I just told you about Kari. So let me break it down to you. First step, relate. The audience must see themselves in your story, not in big abstract ways, but in small, specific human details. A gesture, a moment, a feeling they can recognize. And in the Kari story, I said, my hands are sweating, my heart is pounding. Now, you may have never been to a job interview at the same place as I was, and you possibly have never had a criminal record, but you've probably been nervous at an interview before, right? You felt your heart pound when someone held your future in your hands. That's the bridge. And that's where you enter my story. So don't make the story about you. Make it about the universal human experience that happens to be told through life. When I talk about my childhood, I don't just say, I grew up on an island. Instead, I say, I remember the smell of silage and cow manure that lay like a blanket over the entire island. It smells like home. Now, anyone who grew up rural can relate to that. Anyone who remembers a specific childhood smell can relate. And then you created the bridge. And that's relate. Step number 2 is feel. Once they relate, you must awaken something real. Empathy, tension, hope, relief. Don't tell them what to feel. Make them feel it. And how? By going into the scene, by slowing down, by using real details. In the Kari story, I didn't say, Kari asked me a surprising question and it changed my perspective. Because that's a summary. That's boring. Instead, I said, she smiled. Tell me, she said, when you were running your drug operation, did you keep track of your income and expenses? Wait, what? That was not the question expected. Now you're not hearing about the moment. You are in the moment with me. You feel the confusion, the surprise, the shift. That's when emotion happened. And the principle? Scene, not summary. Slow down at the important moments and let people live the experience with you. That's feel. And number 3, act. When the heart is open, the mind will follow. And this is where you connect your story to their life. What does this mean for them? What should they think about differently? What invitation are you offering? At the end of the Kari story, I didn't just say, and I got the job. I said, Kari saw my story differently. And that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to tell your story in a way that makes people see you differently. Now it's just my story, it's your story. It's your next presentation, your next pitch, your next moment on stage. And that's the invitation. That's act. So let me repeat the model. Relate. They see themselves in your story through specific human details. Feel. You awaken real emotion by going into the scene, not summarizing. Act. You connect it to their life and invite change. And that's how transformation happens. And that's what makes clients want to book you again. So now let's go get even more practical. The part 3 is tools you can use already for to date. Let's go tactical. I'm going to give you 3 tools you can use in your very next talk. And these things I use in every single presentation. And they work whether you're speaking to 100 people or 1,000 people. Again, tool number 1, we spoke about it already, scene, not summary. Most speakers summarize their lives. I had a tough childhood. I struggled with addiction. I turned my life around. That's forgettable. Instead, take us into one scene. One. Show us the moment. Let me show you what I mean using the Kari story. This is the bad version. I had a job interview at the public government, and the interviewer asked me about my past. Boring, right? You already forgot it. The good version is, I'm sitting across from Kari's desk. My hands are sweating. She looks up at me, pushes a glass up her nose, and says, so you have been a drug addict, a criminal, you deliver weapons for a triple homicide, and you want this job? Now see the difference. In the second version, you can see Kari. You can feel the tension. You're in the room with us. That's scene, not summary. And here's how to do it. Pick one moment that represents the bigger story, not the whole journey, just one scene. And then ask yourself, what did I see? What did I hear? And what did I feel in my body? And describe exactly that. Don't tell me you were nervous. Show me. My hands were sweating. Don't tell me someone was skeptical. Show me. She looked down at my CV, then back at me. Details create presence. Presence create emotion. And that's tool number 1. Tool number 2, speak from the scar, not the wound. And this is a critical part. People in the audience, they want vulnerability, but they don't want you to bleed on stage. And there's a huge difference between sharing something you've processed and sharing something you're still drowning in. Because if you're still in pain, the audience will feel unsafe and they will worry about you instead of learning from you. So here's the rule. Only share what you're healed from. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It just means you have done the work. You have reflected already. You have grown. You have perspective. It's behind you. One example, when I tell the Kari story, I'm not ashamed of my criminal past anymore. I'm not angry. I'm not defensive. I've processed it. I can say, I delivered weapons for a triple homicide with calm honesty, not pride, but with honesty. Because I am at peace with it. The audience can be at peace with it too. They can focus on the lessons, not on worrying about me. and here's the test. Ask yourself, can I tell this story without needing the audience to rescue me? If yes, you're speaking from the scar. If no, it's still a wound. Give it more time. That's tool number 2. Tool number 3, make it their story. This is the most important tool. Your story is never just about you. It's about them. Always end by connecting your story to their life. Ask yourself, what does this say about leadership? What does this reveal about courage or shame or second chances? What can they take with them? And again, example from the Kari story. I didn't end by saying, and I got the job, the end. That would that would make it just about me. Instead, I said, Kari saw my story differently. And that's what we're going to do today. Now, it's just not my story, it's your story. It's your next presentation, your next pitch, your next client conversation. And here's how to do it. At the end of your story, add one sentence that starts with, so the next time you. So ask yourself those 3 questions. That's the bridge from your story to their life. And that's when they lean in. That's when transformation happens. So let me recap the 3 tools. Tool 1, scene, not summary. Take us into one moment with specific details. Tool 2, speak from the scar, not the wound. Only share what you healed from. Tool 3, make it their story. Always connect to their life. Use this in your next talk, and I promise you, people will remember you. Okay, so now let's talk about delivery. Because here's the truth. You can have the most powerful story in the world, but if you delivery doesn't match it, people won't feel it. So let me share 3 things I do to prepare and deliver with power. And the first might surprise you a little bit. Prepare your state. Most speakers prepare the slides, their notes, their outfit. I admit that's important too. I do that as well. But almost nobody prepared their emotional state, and that could be a huge mistake. Because if you're not in the right emotional space, your audience will feel it. So let me give you one example from my own process. When I'm about to speak about my darkest days, the drugs, the chaos, the rave parties, I don't just review my notes. Up front, I play techno music, loud, and also in the talk as well. The same kind of music that was blasting when I was destroying my own life. I let the chaotic energy fill me up again, because if I'm going to talk to the audience into that moment, I need to be in that moment first. I need to feel the chaos in my body. And when I'm going to talk about transformational hope, I play Hans Zimmer and the Superman music from the Superman movies, those cinematic emotional scores that make you feel like anything is possible. I let that hope wash over me before I step on stage. Now, you might be thinking, Arman, that's a bit dramatic, isn't it? Maybe. But here's why it works. Your audience can feel you when you're faking it. They can also feel when you're deeply, authentically there. When I talk about chaos and just listen to techno, that's energy in my body. They will feel it. It's in my voice, it's my presence, and the audience feels it. And here's the principle. Don't just prepare your content, prepare your state. Before your next talk, ask yourself, what emotion do I want to bring into the room? And then, how can I prepare my body and mind to match it? For you, it might be music, like me. Maybe it's meditation. Maybe it's movement, jumping, shaking, and breathing. I do everything sometimes. Find what works for you. Because on stage, to master my delivery, I need to cry before I do my talk. I need to laugh before my talk. And I have to be emotional, attached to my story each time. But one thing I don't do on stage, I don't cry on stage. But the audience can cry, but not me. I need to be in control. And again, if I cry on stage, the audience will feel insecure. But up front, I can cry, because presence is everything. And number 2, your body speaks before your mouth. So let me ask you one thing. Have you ever watched a speaker who says all the right words, but their body is closed off, tense, defensive? You don't trust them, right? That's because your body language speaks louder than your words. So here's are 3 things I focus on. Grounded feet. I stand with my feet shoulder wide apart, rooted to the ground. This makes me look confident and steady. And if you're shifting your weight or pacing nervously, the audience feels your anxiety. Plant your feet, own your space, but you can move, of course, like this and this. But I never walks around the stage. Well, I have to be honest, sometimes I do that if it's a big stage. But normally, I just stand on my feet and I move my body. It's a lot of things you can make people feel just by moving your body in different ways when you stand with your grounded feet. An open palm, when I gesture, I keep my palms open and visible. Closed fist create tension. Hand in pocket create distance. So open palms create connection. Eye contact, it's another tool. I don't scan the room like I'm looking for an exit. I find individual faces and hold their gaze for 3 to 5 seconds. And that's when people feel seen. That's when connection happens. And if it's a big audience, like 500,000 people, I find groups to see on at the same time and then move by 3 to 5 seconds before I shift. But on the front row, I can see each and one, and maybe a second row as well. Your body is a part of your story, so use it intentionally. Grounded feet, open palms, real eye contact. And that's how you create trust before you even speak. 3, your voice is your soundtrack. Most speakers talk in one gear. Same pace, same volume, same energy. That could be exhausting to listen to. Your voice should match the emotion of the moment. And let me show you what I mean. When I'm talking about chaos and fear, I speed up. I get louder. I create tension. Listen to this difference. I was lying on the couch, surrounded by needles, and then I heard it. Police! Police! Lie down! I thought, this is it. This is how it's going to end. You can feel the chaos, right? Now listen to this. And then Kari smiled. She looked at me and she said, tell me about your drug operation. See the difference? The pace changed. The volume dropped. The energy shifted. And that's your voice working with your story, not against it. And here's the most powerful tool. And I cannot say how much this is underestimated by public speakers. The silence. Most speakers are terrified of silence. But silence is where emotion lives. When you pause after a big moment, like this, you give the audience time to feel it. In the Kari story, I paused after. She literally held my future in her hands. Pause. The pause is where you felt the weight of that moment. Don't rush through emotion. Let it breathe. So let me summarize this section. Prepare your state. Use music, movement, or meditation to get into the right emotional space before you speak. Your body speaks, grounded feet, open palm, real eye contact, create trust. And match your pace, volume, and silence to the emotion of the moment. When you master these 3 things, your story doesn't just inform people, it can change them. So now let's talk about what happens after the talk. All right, we're almost done with my part. But before I hand it over to Max, I want to leave you with one final thought. A great story doesn't end with applause. It ends when someone tells it again. Stories that spread, they multiply, they create ripples. And in the speaking business, that's called word of mouth marketing. When people remark about you, it makes you remarkable. Let me give you a real example. When I tell you the story about Kari to business leaders, something interesting happens. After they talk, they come up to me and said, that story about Kari made me think about our hiring process differently. Actually, we have a candidate with gaps in the CV. Maybe we should look at them like Kari looked at you. Now, that story isn't just mine anymore. It's theirs. They take it back to their organization. They tell it to the HR teams. They make different decisions because of it. That's when the story becomes a movement. And that's what that means for your business. When your story moves people deeply, they recommend you to colleagues. They rebook you for the next year's event. They pay you more because the value is crystal clear. And let me give you a real number. Even though I get some bookings from my booking agent, almost, I would say 80 to 90% of my bookings come from referrals. I don't have any ads, not from cold emails, not from fancy websites, from stories that created movements inside organization. It's important with the other things as well, but this one I think is the most important of all. Because when you move someone, they remember you, then you bring you back. That's the power you're building today. That's what makes speaking a sustainable, profitable business. And that's what Max is going to show you.
Yeah. Oh, Arman, like, I don't know. I have to catch my breath, man. This was we like, guys. What do you think? Like, drop in the comment. I seen Elias says like brilliant, Arman, and like yeah, we yeah, Louise, like very brave of you to share, and yeah, so yeah, it's very impressive, very impressive, and the thing is, like, you can be a great storyteller as Arman, and what Arman also always says to me and to people he works with is that you don't have to, you know, be into prison to have a good story. Everybody have some kind of story that you can dramatize in a talk. So everybody can do it. This is a beautiful part of it. This is a really beautiful part of it. But again, you can be the world's best storyteller, but if you don't know how to get on the stage, that doesn't matter. You're going to pace you in your living room and tell you that story over and over again. Now I'm going to put on my business hat and we are going to look at how to get booked to conferences. Okay, so let's jump. So first of all, we're going to talk about how can you find your niche. Let's see. Yeah, like we go like this. Perfect. Okay. So a bit about my journey, how I found my voice on the stage. I launched one of Norway's fastest growing pizza chain. We had one location, then 2, then 3, then 5, then 10, then 11, and I got bought out by investors, and I had a lot of employees. Most of them were Gen Z millennials. Now I have a tech company forecasting. We have the dream team, but we also have a lot of Gen Z and millennials. So all in all, I had over like 100 employees, and I was scratching my head. How do I get these Gen Z millennials activated at work? How can I recruit them? How can I be a good leader? I don't want to lose good people. So I went from I was thinking like, how can I do this? And I spent a lot of time researching this topic. At the same time, I really love being on stage. I've been speaking about entrepreneurship for while building my journey. And I was like, I want more gigs. So I ventured into the topic of transforming from, you know, speaking just about entrepreneurship to speaking about Gen Z millennials and how to recruit them. So I transitioned like from what on paper looks like restaurant owner to Gen Z leadership. Another example of finding your niche. Atle, a friend of mine, Arman, very successful speaker, Formula 1 champion. You would naturally think that, hey, he will speak on car events, right? Because he's Formula 1. But that market is too niche in Norway. So he transformed from Formula 1 champion to high performance leadership. You see that? So suddenly every company wants a high performance leadership, right? So it's about taking your knowledge and matching it with the right market and the right market size. So for example, you can be a mental coach. You can speak about resilience and performance in the workplace. You can speak about leadership consultant. You can speak about change leadership. Right now, AI is coming in, a lot of changes happening. How do you navigate this? We had a teacher here. What was your name again? What was your name? Okay, let's see. Okay, also, I know you can't see Max speaking. Wait, let me see here how we can fix that. 1 second. Okay, maybe just 1 second. Let me fix this. So we go like this, and then okay, share screen. Share. Okay, okay, we're gonna try to. Oh, okay, we're gonna try to fix that in a second. So yeah, so we have a teacher here, and you can go from teacher to actually speak about learning and engagement. And I've seen this, like Micke from Sweden. I don't know if you've seen him live, Arman, but like great teacher. But he was tired of working in the high school. Now he makes more in one public speaking session, more than one public speaking session, what he made a month working in the school. So when we say that anybody can become a successful public speaker, I really mean it. You can go from a teacher to, yeah, it's really, really incredible, this industry. So you have to, first of all, balance between demand and unique. For example, like our manager, Nils, he used this example a lot. Like imagine like if you're a beer brand and you're launching a new beer. If you're just like a lager, the stores will say like, oh, there's a lot of like lagers, we don't need any more of that. If you are like a weird alcohol-free kombucha with citrus, they will say like, I don't think there's demand for it. So you have to be a bit unique, but also hit the mass market. So for example, if you want to speak about change management, there is a lot of competition there. So you have to kind of go into that, but also find your edge. What would I do if I were you? Let's take a hypothetical case. I'm Max, and let's say I'm Max Wolf, not Max Gouchan, 37 years old. I like innovation, AI, change management, and technology, and I live in the UK. What would I do if wake up and I want to become a public speaker? I would actually go to the agency that me and Arman has, Listen. Here you can go to speakers. Oh, here am I. Arman is also on the first page. Yeah, we are very, very high demand in Norway right now. So here I would look at, okay, innovation. That's my passion. For example, like technology. I will look for the parts that matches me. Then why is Listen a very good place to do research? Listen has reviews on the speakers. So you can see which speakers are in demand. Generally, over 50 reviews, that means the speaker is in demand. So then I would just study the different profiles. Like Hans Petter is a really cool guy, really good on stage. And here I would study, okay, let's look at his reviews. Like who actually books, him? What kind of company? What is their title? Like on LinkedIn, who worked there? And then I would get inspiration from the topics they speak about, who booked them, what challenges they solve. And I would just go into in the country I'm in, find similar companies, find similar people who have the same position. Like for example, like if Rune is head of HR, I would find a golf course near me and contact them, right? Because we know they're interested in this kind of talk. Also, it's very useful to read the reviews. Read the reviews. Why did people like about him? What stories stuck? What advice did they like? We can find a lot of inspirations by researching the reviews. So once you start your journey, before you create your speaker reel, your website, you want to have a positioning, something like this. For example, I worked with Camille, and you have the title, like Unlocking Real Business Impact, how you can get most impact from AI, short talk description, 2 or 3 sentences. Figure out who is your audience. And this, you can speak to everyone. And it should be short. What's the topic? And most important outcome. Remember at the beginning, we looked at who books successful, that most speakers make 2,000 to 3,000 euros. Why do people pay Arman 3,500, 4,000 euros? Why do people pay me 3,000 euros? They pay because they have a challenge or problem, and they think return of investment. So if they get Arman in, they can change the whole recruitment strategy and how more profitable. I come in, I speak about how to lead Gen Z, how to recruit them. They think, okay, if we implement some of Max's advice and tips, and fewer people quit, or we attract better talent, those 3,000, it's almost for free. It's basically almost for free for them. So you're there not to share, like you're there you have to share the story in a nice way, but you're not there just to talk about, this and that. You have to give value and combine that with the story sharing techniques that Arman teaches, because then they will stick. But we are there to provide value and solve concrete real business challenges. So let's look at the market. Who books speakers and pays, 3K or more for being on stage for 80 to 30 minutes? Actually, most gigs me and Arman get are around 20 minutes. That's like the usual on conference. So first of all, internal events. This is the highest one that I have of my gigs. For example, like I just spoke for 200 franchise leaders in Oslo for a big pizza franchise. So, and also remember, like sometimes I see speaker and they say like, oh, my audience is everyone. Look, most internal companies, they're not going to invite everyone to listen to me or Arman. Usually they gather their leaders, they get the insights from me and Arman, and then the leaders implement this strategy. So in this case, the pizza chain, they didn't invite 6,000 employees. They invited the 200 leaders, and now it's their leaders' job to implement the things that they learned this day. So most of your audience will be most likely HR, some kind of leader, or some kind of middle manager. That's very important. College universities, usually not the biggest budget, but hey, it's fun. They have parties. They treat speakers really nice. You have like really good food backstage. They pick you up at the airport. College universities are really fun. Sometimes they have business days, and I've been having gigs here for 2,000-3,000 euros. But again, not that big market, but it's there. Associations, they are great if you want to travel a lot. For example, and another thing is great is that you get a huge exposure. For example, I spoke here at HSMI in Oslo. It's a association for the hotel and hospitality industry. In the audience was 200 people from bank, cards, hotels, restaurant chains, etc. And when I was walking down the stage, I already had a few LinkedIn messages like, hey, awesome talk. Can we talk? We should maybe have this internally. So it's a very good way to promote your talk to a lot of businesses. Another great thing about this is once you spoke to HSMI, for example, me in Oslo, I can call all the other HSMI in Europe and like, hey, HSMI in London, I spoke in Oslo, feedback was amazing. This is a review. Do you want me to come and speak at your conference next year? So this opens up the opportunity to travel and get exposure for a lot of businesses in many countries. Government, hey, this is like usually very pleasant customer. It's like getting your tax back early. This is how it feels like when you send the invoice. But like it's very pleasant customers, usually very professional. I just spoke at the biggest hospital in Oslo. They're super nice. And yeah, they're just very nice. They have the budgets. You can read the news like, oh, the municipality is struggling. But for some reason, they always have money for us speakers, which is good. And I hope that will continue for a very, very long time. Last one is the second last one is nonprofit organizations. Again, these don't have the biggest budgets, but sometimes they can invite all their donors or all their partners, and you can get a really good exposure. So if you get a gig here and they say like 400 euros or 500 euros, I will take it in some cases because it's a very, very good exposure and you're doing something good. Breakfast events, also very popular. So for example, Farm Relations, they help companies in Norway recruit for the pharmaceutical industry. They invited like AstraZeneca, all of these med companies into the event. I came in, I was the only speaker. We did like 45 minutes and questions. I got some free coffee, 3K for the gig. I'm happy. Then AstraZeneca calls me, hey, we loved your gig. We should have this speech internally. So it's again, you get exposure from other businesses. And if you follow the tips that Arman implemented, you connect with the audience, you leave an impact. Most of the people sitting here, they will hit you up. The ripple effect Arman talked about. That's how you get that pre-booking. Webinars, that's my new favorite. Last year, I spoke for a recruitment portal for Legetidsskriftene. I came to the office because like they asked me, I was like, okay, it was so good. They called me 2 months ago. Hey, Max, this event, it was one of the best we had ever. Can you do it again? I'm like, yeah, but can I do it from home? They're like, sure. So I'm sitting at home, drinking coffee like now, telling my jokes, showing my memes and my stories. And I log off. I send an invoice, 2,500 euros. And I'm like, oh, this is a great start of the day. I can do more of this. So webinars are also very, very fun. First, I was a bit nervous because like Arman, my presentation is, I have humor. I write my own jokes. It's kind of like almost stand-up. So I really want to feel the entertainment. But then I was like, you know what? I assume the people on the other side of the screen are laughing. I'm just going to assume that. And then this is fun. Hey, it's good jokes. So yeah. Next step is now we know who books speakers. Next step is like craft a compelling speaker bio and statement. We're going to look at what goes into speaker reel and how prepare your website. First, like the goal of a good speaker reel, a good website, and good speaker assets when we are starting up is to build trust. Nobody who books speakers want to end up with, you have a room of 80 people and you book a speaker who sucks, have white slides, PowerPoint bullet points, and everybody's looking at the person. Why did you book him? This is terrible. And it's just like the level of suffering is just, you can feel the tension. So our goal is to create the trust. Like, hey, if you book me, you don't know me, but if you book me, we're going to have a good talk, no bullet points, no white slides. You're going to love it. Your audience is going to love it. It's going to be fun. That's what we want to achieve, especially in the beginning when we don't have that word of mouth, when we don't have that, we don't have that so many testimonials. So we need to be trust. The cool thing is like, you don't need a strong Instagram or LinkedIn. You don't need a YouTube channel. You don't need to be famous. You don't need a title or certificate. You don't need any of those, right? So anyone can start up. What you need is to create enough trust. You need to create enough trust so they don't fuck up by having you there. First, a good picture. I really like Arman's here, like speaker of the year. You can see him in the moment. He has his brand color red, so he sticks to that. It's very nice. Here we have our agent Niels. Again, like you can see him in motion. This doesn't look like a boring talk. It looks engaging. If you don't have speakers on you, you can just use a headshot. I paid $30 for one here in Barcelona, 30 euros. I've used this for the last 3 years. It just worked also as a charm. A good headshot, you look professional, you smile, can also work. Update LinkedIn, like at least mention that you're a public speaker. At least most of you will have a full-time job while doing public speaker. At least mention that you do public speaking. Then testimonials. Videos are epic. So the first gig, you can kind of do it for free, but you should if you go and somebody says to you, oh, you're really good on stage. Just I say like, hey, that's a nice compliment. Do you mind if I take a video of it? I'm creating like a new something for my social media. It's a bit awkward, but having those video testimonials are really, really good. It's really worth it. What Arman does, and I think it works really nice, you did this in Gouchan, Arman. You brought with you a videographer, and he did it. He walked around and he asked people, hey, can I get testimonial what you think about the Arman speech? So that's next level. Works really, really good.
Just wanted to add something there, Max, because when you do this filming right afterwards, they are in the moment, and if they are connected to you, they are very full of enthusiasm, and you will get the right spots, the right words, and it's really worth taking the time to have a photographer sometimes.
Absolutely. And then reviews, you got to get reviews. Those reviews, they just really builds the trust. Video, it's essential. And here I follow this kind of a template. I made it together with Niels, my manager. So usually you have the speaker reel should be 1.5 minutes, in average. You have the opening hook, why is this a topic? I could be like, Gen Z comes to work, they're stressed, they have anxiety, they quit like this. How are we as leaders supposed to tackle this? We create the first 50 seconds, we just capture them. Then why you? I'd be like, hey, I led over 100 of this. I interviewed over 125 Gen Zs, picking what do they really want in a leader, why you? The promise of your talk, in this talk, I will share 7 advice so that your company can recruit the best talent, you can win with the generation, the promise of your talk. What are they getting? Proof that it works. Here we're kind of saying and the feedback I get after going on stage is wow, this was useful. Hey, we can implement it straight away. Why does this work? Your signature style, always hey, and my talk is full of humor, practical advice, no bullet points, no white slides, zero fluff. We're going to have so much fun. And then call to book, you just say so if your conference or company is looking for a speaker to tackle these challenges, hit me up and let's have a coffee. That's how simple a speaker reel can be. Okay. So first speech, make it count. Give your brand speech. You can do your first time, say you develop the talk that is 20 minutes. Is that your talk you're going to keep doing again and again? Get you do it for free just to try it out. Hire a videographer to get some nice shots of you on stage. You can later edit them into a speaker reel, ask the audience for review, and if someone did a great job, ask to film them. This will help you land the paid speaking gigs in weeks. This is what really moves the needle. A good website is a must. Mine is I can just share mine, Max Gouchan, kind of all about what my talk does for the company. A speaker reel, a bit about me, but then again, this is what they get of value by having me. My signature talk, how to recruit and lead young workers, the Gen Z playbook for communication, and then also I'll do MC, what people say. I have some cool testimonials here, and then let's work together, my price, blah, blah, blah. So very simple, but very, very powerful. And this shows hey, I'm serious about public speaking. I invest into a website, invest into a speaker reel. It shows me I'm serious. Speaker bio, this again, just take a look at some of them on Tallisten, because Tallisten writes all the speaker bio. So when Tallisten writes a speaker bio, they make it for the conference bookers. So find the speaker bio you like and ask ChatGPT to make one of yours in the same style. Just copy paste. Hey, you can use mine as an example of framework. I don't mind. Talk description, again. Here we want to create that curiosity. How do young people search for jobs? What question can you expect during the interview process? What qualities do young people look for in a leader? Do they Google it? This talk looks at how companies should adapt recruitment to attract the best young talent and in a way that reduces turnover. So basically here, I spark some curiosity, and I said, like, what are we going to cover? So they feel like, okay, this is a value-based talk. Okay. So we have typing, package it. Now we can sell. We have a beautiful website. We have a beautiful speaker reel. We have description, the talk, the main idea. Now we start to sell. First conference, you need to reach out yourself, not an agent. And here is where most people mess up. They think, oh, I don't want to sell. I don't want to, do this. I'm just going to go to an agent. If you just hit up an agent and say, like, hey, I want to be represented, you're going to get a no. Tallisten get like around 10, 12 requests each week that they say no to. You have to bring them business. We're going to look at that later. And I know I've been interviewing agents for podcast interviews in UK, Finland, other countries. It's the same story everywhere in Europe. So in the beginning, you have to do it yourself. But hey, it's not that hard. First conferences, we did our research trick. We've seen what kind of companies book the speakers in a similar topic than us. And I recommend to start local. 90% of speakers get booked in their own country first. Actually, very few speakers make it successfully across borders. Keep it simple. Focus on your region. Prioritize relevance over size. It's better to get a gig. If you know someone and you speak, for example, about reducing burnout, it's better to come to a small accounting company where your friends work and do a speech for 10 people for 300 euros just to get to practice than just think like, oh, I want to go straight to a conference, 300 people and make 2,000 euros. So start small, start in a network and just build that momentum. And if you follow the tips that Arman gave earlier, the rumor will spread. Because one thing is to get on stage, and the second one is to deliver a good talk, because then you get the word of mouth effect. Here's how I contact conferences. I always try to adjust it a bit. So for example, like I wrote here, Tjena Patrik, because this email is in Swedish to a Sweden person. So I just wrote hi in their language. I don't want it to feel like a mass email. I said, hey, I just held a talk for 200 franchise leaders at Pizzabakken in Norway, all about how to better recruit. The feedback was really strong. Are you planning any big leadership gatherings this year with your location or franchise owners? And then you start to look at speakers. And then I try to personalize it. I write, by the way, I used to have a coffee subscription here in Norway. I loved it because they stopped with that subscription. So he knows, one, this is not a mass email. I researched and I reach out with a purpose. The biggest mistakes I see speakers do, they send like this long email with their whole life story and like, hey, book me, book me, book me. We're not selling the speech. We're selling the opportunity to have a meeting. We're selling a quick question. Like, this is how I would do it if I met him in the elevator. I'd be like, hey, Patrick, I spoke at Pizzabakken for their leaders. Have you landed all your speakers about this topic? That's how I would approach him in person. I wouldn't do a 2-minute monologue. So guys, take this template, go with it. It just works like a charm. Negotiation, be brave. First of all, usually we don't do free speeches. You can do it when you're starting up for the first or second, but usually we don't do free. It ruins the market for everyone. So that's a bad thing. The beginning speakers, like this webinar is not about how to make $1 million a year. This is a very realistic webinar. We're very open about what you can make. It's still very good, but the expectation has to be real. So 300 to 1,000 for the first, maybe 10 gigs or 15 gigs. Then you can slowly move up to 1,000 to 2,000. Most of us, once you become an average good speaker, you can do 2,000 to 3,000. Most of us. If you're a celebrity, bestseller book, or like Arman, you're doing speaking full time, 3,000 to 5,000 is very, very realistic. If you're too cheap, you won't get booked for good stuff. A big conference, they don't book 300 euro speakers. So that's also you have to think about that. Sometimes the magic jump is to go from 1,000 to 2,000. That's where you're getting considered for the serious gigs. And often you get more gigs booked at 2,000. But before jumping to 2,000, I will double check: is my speaker real good? Do I have 10 or 15 testimonials? How's my branding? So that when I pitch and I ask for 2,000, I'm confident that they will be like, okay, we believe so much in the speaker that we are going to book him. Okay, and you're breathing and taking a slow, Arman. I get too excited. How is it, guys, so far? Is it interesting? Like, how's in the chat room? Okay, I see some is screenshotting. Thanks for sharing the doc example. Good. Cool. Okay, super. Guys, so cool to have you all here. Okay, nice. Let's continue. So, if you get a yes, what do you do? First, do a contract. Simple one-pager. I think we have one in our community. We have a draft. Discuss the fee and payment terms, time and date of the talk, travel cost, who books the tickets and covers what's included. I often include a startup meeting in the contract. It looks like they're getting more than just a speech, and you need to have this meeting anyway. Pro tip: keep your travel budget low. I usually book Airbnb because I like to make my own food. I like to have a healthy lifestyle. But I tell an organizer, hey, you know what? I didn't take a taxi. I took the bus to the location. I booked Airbnb. I've been trying to keep the travel budget low. They appreciate it, and when you say it, it's higher chances to get a good review, because just show that you respect their money and their budget. So yeah. Then work with an agent and how to find one. Biggest mistake I see, again, is like you think it will solve everything. It won't. And even if you get an agent, 90% they get an agent and they're like, where are all my bookings? And then 10% is what we call the magic inner circle. They just get booking after booking after booking. Like me and Arman, we're lucky we are in the inner circle. How do you get into one? Like, for example, in Tarlisten, they had 700 speakers, now 500, because we removed 200 people, didn't get a single booking in 2024. In 2023, I won a prize, Rocket of the Year. I had a 523% increase. Amongst 700 speakers, I had the highest growth. So I feel I really cracked that code of working successfully with an agent. And Nils, he changed my life. This is the agent of me and Arman. Already this year, they gave me gigs of almost 30,000. I didn't lift a finger. I just get an SMS. Hey, can you speak at this date? I say yes, and then that's it. I just show up, I do my speech, and I invoice. The way to build tips for finding a work with an agent. First of all, you have to bring them business. You have to say you got a talk for 2,000 euros or 3,000 euros. Then you contact an agent. I'm going to look at the script how to do it. And you say, hey, I got this gig. I think it's time to work with an agent. Can you negotiate it with me? You're perfectly fine to negotiate yourself, but this is about a token of action. Like, hey, I'm willing to share my business with you, and I hope you will share my business with me. So say like, hey, you can take maybe the first 3 gigs, 50%, just to get it going. And then the usual rate is 20 to 30%. Show that you're loyal. I was represented by 2 agencies, Athenas and Tarlisten in Norway. And then I was like, I'm just going all in on Tarlisten. And for me, that was a signal like, hey, I'm with you. Let's build this business together. Be active. Ask them to share things. Like if you wrote a good LinkedIn post about burnout, ask them to share it. Ask them to always push them in the social media. If you wrote a book, send that book to all the people working in that agency. Book a meeting with all the people in that. An agency, they usually have like 4 or 5 salespeople. Book a meeting with all the salespeople, get to know them face to face, and say, hey, my talk works in this and this conference. Can you pitch me to this and this? Give them a list and just ask them, can you pitch me in here? So you have to be active. You can't just get an agent and hope that that will solve everything. Usually, I aim to take 20 to 30%. It's absolutely worth it because you're getting gigs you wouldn't getting otherwise. And here's a good script. Like, hey, I know most speakers usually reach out asking to be put on the list. That's not what I'm doing here. I just got booked to speak at PayPal next month. This is the amount. I'm thinking for what to get an agent, and this feels like a natural place to start. I'd love for you to handle the final deal to take your cut. Low risk, real opportunity, and a chance to see if we will work well together. Does that sound like something worth chatting about? If you do this to an agent, your chances to get signed increases by like 1 billion or trillion%. So yeah, find 100 conferences, companies, send them an email for coffee, like an invite, simple as that. Then how to make more money, become an MC. You can offer workshops. I just have an offer out now where I will do my talk 1 hour, and then I will do a 2-hour workshop. And instead of 3,000 euros, I price it 5,000. So it's really cool to offer workshops. Congrats. You are now ahead of majority of speakers who do free pay speaking or just got a single pay gig. You could absolutely take these tips and run it with your own, but here is the real truth. Most good speakers, they get stuck forever. They prepare, they practice, but they never reach their goals because several reasons. They don't get any bookings, sometimes fail under presentation, and that just ruins everything. Or you get a brain freeze on a talk because of wrong preparations, and you just don't want to go again, even if you want to be a speaker. And some destroy the chance before they even begin. Pitching the wrong topic, charging too little, or you just get stuck endless back and forth emails that go nowhere. And sometimes the things that are holding you back are invisible. Maybe your online image looks amateur. You think you have a good website and speaker reel, but you don't even realize it. Your video pitch isn't helping you, it's just actually hurting you. You're wasting hours on wrong advice online. You might be missing big paid speaking gigs because you don't know where to spot or how to negotiate them in a good way. And worst of all, you don't know before it's too late. There are some good news in this. Like, there is some really good news. You can skip absolutely all of that. You can guarantee your shot to become a successful and high-paid public speaker. Knowing from the beginning exactly what's right for you with your knowledge and your history, so that audience love you and organizers say yes to book you. You can achieve this on the first try if you know how to do it. Or you have someone who knows everything about paid public speaking, so you can move as fast as possible. Time is going fast, soon 2026. Know what's best for you to succeed in the industry you're an expert in. Avoid painful and expensive mistakes. I've done a lot of them. Get someone to do the heavy lifting, and leverage their skills. Get the guarantee that you make it to the stage. 100% confident and ready to be successful in the speaking industry. That's why we are presenting the Paid Speaker Intensive Bootcamp with me and Arman. This Paid Speaker Intensive Bootcamp is an intensive face-to-face program. Me and my team work with a small cohort of very ambitious public speakers who want to build a career as a paid speakers or create an extra, very profitable side hustle, landing the first or bigger paid speaking guest, just like everybody who joined here today. This is not a pre-recorded course. This is a live interactive bootcamp. We limit it to 12 people because it's very personal. You get weekly live calls, personalized feedback on your speech, and a very tight-knit group that really supports and cheers on each other. Think of it like a program that guarantees to launch your speaking career. Week by week, you get a killer signature talk built for you that you can use for many years to come. All your speaker marketing assets that speaks directly to the bookers, bio, launch it, speaker reel video, the whole website. The skills how to find really good opportunities and how to contact them, guidance how to reach out, and of course we do recordings for the sessions. You can go back anytime and rewatch them. Here's what we'll do for you: speaker website, professional speaker reel, help with the presentation design, layout, and how to craft the story. I do 3 live individual coaching sessions. Arman will do 2. We have 6 online group sessions, Q&A, top agents, and also all the teaching materials. Me and my team will find 60 handpicked leads just for you. I'll write your personal outreach message, and we will also contact 20 of them as your agent. So we will start that ball. We'll start booking those meetings for you so you can increase your chances to get on stage very fast. And this is like personalized for each person, because we had speakers who come, they've never been on stage. I had speakers who come to this program. Hey, Max, I've done 50,000 euros in paid speaking gigs. I need a system. I need more gigs. I need to treat this more like a business, right? The program requires 2-3 hours per week per person. So basically in 24 hours of your time, 1 day of your life, you can get your speaking career up and running. Just 1 day to set up like a really nice and really fun income stream that can also make you live out your passion. We've been doing this for many times. Cohort 1, we started in April. Cohort 2, we did cohort 3. A lot of people. Cohort 4. In cohort 5 here, we have around like 6 people. Yeah, 6 people that joined. I've been lucky to work with some super amazing people. Yeah, the list is long, and it's been just really, really fantastic. We got so many testimonials now, only positive. Kingsley, I landed at 2,500 speaking gig, but per chance, now want the system. Camille, he's now negotiating his first speaking gig for 1,000 euros, almost closed. Maggie, I can continue forever with the testimonials, but people are just really, really excited after they finish the 8-week program. Yeah. In the program, we follow a very strict system. Everybody has like a very structured system. We have like every week, all the homework, basically all the things you need to do to have in place to succeed as a speaker. It's very neatly organized. After each, we will create your CRM. We'll find all your leads. After each session, we ask people for feedback. So this cohort will be the best ever, because after each session, we ask how can we improve, and then we take those improvements. So this program, me, Jordy, and the team, we've been always improving it. We create the speaker reel. So we give you I will write your manuscript, first of all. Then you record it at home, like Håkon did here. And then my editor, he will edit it together and make it like bam, 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 so that when a conference is considering you, they will think like, okay, this person is really professional about public speaking. We create your website that speaks to the organizers. This is the team supporting you. Jordy, most of you have talked into WhatsApp. He also makes your website and copywriting. Antonio makes sure the speaker reel is done. Aneta, our program facilitator, all the one-on-one bookings, that he makes the whole program run. Yeah. Then let's see. The program is built on real experience. Like I spoken for 12 years, over 100 paid gig events. I know over 60 conference organizers. Arman has a huge network too. So this program is built on real experience. We have input from Nils. Nils is very impressed by this program. He's actually sending us some speakers who reach out to him, but that are not ready for Tallinn yet. So it's kind of like approved and value stamped. Today we're showing something really exciting. We never done this before because Arman been really busy. The last 5 cohorts, Arman dropped by 1 hour to share experience, and I've been like, Arman, we have to do something together. We have to do something together. So this is the first time we're doing something together with Arman. So let me present you what we're talking about. We're gonna go that in a second. Also, I interview a lot of people for a podcast. I'm learning from top speakers. All of this, I'm meeting with agents. Everything I'm learning here, I'm putting into this program. And the goal is that to help people to go on stage and also be able to, send an invoice of 2,000 or 3,000 euros. And I want to emphasize, it's super realistic. We're not selling like how to become a millionaire a year. We're selling how to make 30,000, 40,000 euros extra as a speaker, which is super realistic. This is everything you need to kickstart your speaking career while keeping like current job and doing this on the side. After the bootcamp, we have a mastermind group where we will support each other. This is also very popular. We meet bi-weekly. We help each other getting gigs and have accountability. Best of all, just one paid gig can pay off the monthly expenses. You're not buying an online course that does nothing for you. You're investing in a career that will like pay you forever. And all the other aspects of your business will be boosted. I've seen a lot of coaches, they get more coaching clients. It's a really good personal brand building. Let's just compare it quickly to the alternatives. Tuesday speaker workshop usually costs 1 or 2K with people that you're not familiar with, and not so much follow-ups, and then it's done. Online courses, no real feedback, just pre-recorded classes. Watching free stuff online, you get stuck in the loop of learning for free and not acting. We have a competitor, Speaker Lab in the USA. They charge 12,000 euros. Most people can't afford it. It's super expensive, and it's not meant for the European market. How much staying stuck already costing you? You're missing out gigs, you're losing confidence, fewer clients, and wasted time. Like every month, you're not taking action as a speaker, you're missing out on being on great stages. So here's how you get 8 weeks of live coaching, personal feedback, ongoing support, lifelong money-making skills, marketing assets, and also a community that makes you successful and accountable. This is a gold opportunity to secure a shot at paid public speaking. So you can be part of it. And here is the $1 million question. How much does it take to join the program? So what's included from our side? I'm going to talk about what's included from Arman. So we do like speaker, website, video, the group sessions to find the leads. We are very available on WhatsApp to the whole program. All of this. And this time only this time, you will get storytelling and one-on-one coaching with Arman. So the storytelling and one-on-one coaching with Arman will happen in parallel with the sessions about how to build a speaker reel manuscript. Me and Arman will work very closely together. You will get help to craft a presentation, a story that will move people and get you rebooked again and again. It's with Arman. So with me, it's going to be 5 group sessions. With Arman, it's going to be 4. Plus, you get 2 private sessions with Arman and 3 private sessions with me. Super valuable. So with Arman, 1 will be turn host to goal, like your hidden strengths, become your differentiator. Week 2, the story that moves people and drives business. Week 3, you will look at prepare your state, not just your content. And week 4, how vulnerability, how to speak from the scar and not the wound. Also, you look at how to connect your life to the professional world. So the sessions will be insane. So with Arman, you will have a workshop on how to build an emotional grounding keynote, craft a story, develop a pre-talk ritual, create a structure you can use for your future talk, share a message others remember, and also the coaching. So all in all, Arman usually charges 500 per hour as a consultant. This is going to be an insanely good offer. So what's included? From our side, from me and Jordi, all of this, from Arman, all of this is pretty crazy, and much more for just 4,500 euros. That's the price we take for this program. Today offer, yeah, we never done this before. It's incredible. I think, Arman, I'm very happy you found the time now in December and January. And I can't wait to be in your sessions too, because I need to improve my storytelling as well. What happens if you want to join? You can book a one-on-one call. We get to know each other, and we need to see that first of all, we believe that this will work, that you have a market and story that we think we can succeed in. We discuss your current situation, where you want to go. If you're a fit, we sign a contract, add you to the cohort WhatsApp group. If you're not a fit, hey, or you change your mind, we had a fun coffee together and we exchanged some ideas and brainstorm on your talk. We start November 27th. We kick things off. So first session will be 27th November. We do then second session. Niels will come and everybody will pitch their story to Niels. I will prepare that pitch with you. And we get to ask him questions, how an agent think. Then we're going to look at how to marketing your speaker reel. Session 5, build great presentations, how to add video quizzes, how to make a great presentation combined with the inputs from Arman. Then we look at the sales and marketing speaker. With Arman, it's going to be 4 sessions in January. We're looking primarily at Wednesdays, but we're going to get back to that quickly. So if you want to learn more on the program, just hit the button below. Jordan, is it right? Below? And yeah, we are here to answer some questions if we have. Any questions in the chat? Corby, is it possible to set up a contract to pay installments? Yeah, we're super flexible on that. Yeah, absolutely. Arman, yeah, this has been fun. 1 hour, huh? We covered a lot of things in 1 hour. Wow. 12 years of my speaker journey and 5 of yours. This was so fun, guys. Thank you all for coming. This has been really fun.
Really.
Yeah, we have someone here looking forward for our call. I'm also very much looking forward for our call. Amazing. This will be super fun. Any questions? You have Arman Speaker of the Year here on the line. Just, no bad questions. How much is it overall? So the overall, 4,500. And yeah, I would say the value is really there. And we have so many good testimonials from previous cohorts. And yeah, it's probably the best speaker academy in Europe right now. I checked all the competition. We are really going way and beyond to make this happen. Thanks for the question, Luis. Book a call and we can jump on a coffee and discuss it in the upcoming days. Yeah, Arman, you were saying?
Yeah, well, someone asked me if their stories are good enough to tell, if they are too dramatic or too less dramatic. Not everyone has those extreme experience that I have, but I can find stories in every person's life. So I will work with that person to find the stories that connect and make it relevant. But if people don't want to use their own stories, we can find other ways to use storytelling. So don't think that we need to find stories in your life if you don't want to share it right now. That can happen later, but we need to work with the storytelling.
Yeah. Okay, and we have a good question here. Can you keep repeating the same talk? Look, how it works is that yes, you can do the same talk for almost 15 or 20 years, and this is what happens. So, for example, imagine I was in London and I watched Phantom of the Opera. I love musicals. I look at it, and then 1 year later, I go with my brother. So then I go if I go back, I expect exactly the same thing. I expect same music, same actors, everything. I expect to be 100% the same. And the same here, the talk that me, you, and Arman are going to create is a talk that you can keep doing for next 10, 15, or 20 years, because you go on stage, people see you and they'll be like, hey, I want you to say the exact same thing at our company. And they expect it to be exactly the same. At one moment, I was a bit worried that what if my talk is used up? And I call Niels. I'm like, Niels, I'm panicking. What do I do? I'm scared somebody will be listening to me again. He's like, Max, Solfrid, one of the most popular speakers, she's been doing the same talk for 20 years, small adjustments, and this is Norway. Norway, I don't know if you've been there. It's 5 million people. It's a super small country. And she's been doing the same talk for 20 years, and she has 100 bookings a year. So yes, you can and you should and you need to do the same talk. And that's the good thing about this program. We're going to create a hero talk that is so good that yeah, you can get rebooked and you can do the same thing. Also, in this 8 weeks, I'm going to show how to customize 3 or 4 slides just by 10 minutes so that the audience feels like you put in a lot of effort to make it customizable. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then how long is an average talk? It is usually conference lasts for 20 minutes. And in this program, I'm going to show you how to make the talk from 20 to 40 to 45. So just very quick, I usually like, if a customer asks me to do 30 minutes, I add 9 minutes of exercises where, hey, talk to the person next to you. So I make the audience interact. If they ask for 40 minutes, I add a quiz, like 5 or 6 minutes. So the only thing you need to learn is 20 minutes. And then you can easily expand on this. That's the beauty of it. So we're going to really learn how to, easily go from 20 to 30 to 45, where you don't need to spend a lot of time. Okay, then we have here, Andrew, could you show the 10,000 euro page again, what we would get? Yeah, we can just quickly recap that. We can recap that and Arman, just give me a second. That's fast here. Okay, so yeah, we do the professional speaker website, copywriting. Jordy's amazing at copywriting. We do the promo video. We review the talk. So basically this, once you've done the talk and we have the story from Arman, I help you with the designing the slides. We've written the manuscript together. Everybody's happy. You record a talk. I look through it. I have a coffee, and then I write down everything that can be improved. We tweak it so that when you go on stage, you feel like I'm comfortable. This, like when you finish this 8 weeks, you have a talk that is worth at least 1.5 or 2,000 euros. You go on stage and you're like, hey, this talk is so good, I can easily invoice the 2K. I feel proud of it, I own it, and it's amazing. We do the coaching, me and you also individually. In the beginning, we prepare the pitch to Nils. We need to, in the beginning, to really nail that. What problem do we solve? What's the topic? We get some tips and advice from Arman too. And then we do like the online live sessions. We have Nils coming by. I book him in every time. You get to pitch. It's a very good sessions. We do the leads. We also do the outreach. So I will contact them as your agent, like, hey, Max, I represent, what's your name again? Sorry. So for example, like, okay, I can be like, hey, I represent Louis Reed. He's a speaker about this and this. Exactly. So also like, yeah, and we're super available, and it's just, I just want to go back to the slides. This is why I've been doing it. Like being able to work with all these people, and for me to be able to write, be creative. Again, I write my own jokes, I write material. To be able to work on so many presentations, meet these people, and some of them I met in person. When I travel, they hit me up. We're now discussing to do a gathering together outside Barcelona in 2026. We're going to rent a huge villa where everybody will come and we'll learn new skills. So we really build a community. So we've done like the different cohorts, but everybody, people from cohort 1 met the cohort 2. So we kind of build this amazing community where people support each other. And yeah, I'm super grateful for the journey so far. I'm super grateful for the journey so far. Okay, any more questions? Okay, we have, can we book for it after March 2026? I don't know if Arman's going to be available. Most likely not, because after March it's a very like busy high speak season. I would recommend to join this cohort because again, I've been on Arman like for many months. Let's do this together, and I finally got him to join. And I will join his sessions too because I need to learn. Like I realize how bad my storytelling is actually. So I think that's what's keeping me from going from 3,000 to 4,000. So Arman, if you don't mind, I will also join those sessions and just like be a fly on the wall and write down everything you teach because I need this too. I need this too. Are you planning to? Thank you. I plan to open up an agency. You're too great to simply teach. Thank you, man. No, look, but I will help you get an agent. Håkon, who joined our cohort number 3, he pitched Thales and he got a no. So me and Håkon, we sat down, we reworked his message, we reworked his pitch, and today you can check in school, you can confirm it. Today he got the contract from Thales and they're ready to sign him. So and when he came here, he already had 50K in speaking gigs. So it's all about I will be there for you and help you get that agent when the timing is right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, and there was a book you were selling on your website. I can find it. Jordy, can you make sure that is sent? Perfect. Yes. Okay. Let me just see if you have any more questions here. 2 questions. Do you kind of aptitude check before signing up? Secondly, being primarily English speaker at work, currently in France. is there market for someone like me? Very good question. I have 2 speakers I'm currently working with in France in cohort. I have actually 3 speakers in cohort 5, and 2 of them are in France, and both of them, one is American, one is from Taiwan. Yes, you can speak English in the market. You know Josh Arman, remember Josh Hinton, our speaker friend? Josh charges double of me and a bit more than Arman. He's an American in Norway. So I have some really cool strategies how you can succeed in a country by being an English speaker. So that is my least worry that we're gonna solve. Okay, Andrew, you're welcome. Yep. Okay, anyone else here that any questions? Okay, also, by the way, you had said like, do you do any kind of aptitude check before signing up? Can you just elaborate on that question? Yeah, Arma, this is the first time you've been on this webinar. What's like excited? Like it was fun. I was taking notes when you presented. I was like, oh, this is so valuable. I'm so happy we were able to provide this for free on this webinar for so many people. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I'm happy to join, and it's very good to see you in action, Max.
You too, and you did a great job. And I was a bit worried you wouldn't have slides, but I was sitting there with goosebumps, listening to every single word, and you just hooked me. And it's going to be fun to make people do the same thing. And I don't think it's that hard, right? Like as long as you focus on the tips you said, like describe sweaty palm, like atmosphere, you can get a long way with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just get here. Okay, let's just also, guys, like, we put like me and Arman has been working. First of all, like he's been part of 5 cohorts and loved it. Like the sessions that when we send out the review, the sessions we had with Arman are always getting super high rating. So he has delivered well and above on all the things. It's really, it's been really strong. Okay, so we are catching here. Before you join, do check the candidates' ability to match up your training. I meant aptitude test. So yeah, like I had speakers who booked a meeting after this kind of webinar, and we said no. It can be that we don't like their message, like if they preach something that is multi-level marketing, or if we feel like the message doesn't, like we started this to help people share amazing stories, to make an impact, to be on stage. Me and Arman have successful speaking careers. Like we don't have to do this, but we just really enjoy working with speakers. So yeah, we check the speaker, and if we feel it's a good match, then we take it on. Because for me to accept someone's money, I need to believe that they will get a return of investment, and I need a good review to make this business work. So if we accept someone we don't think will succeed, it's a real lose-lose situation. So we are very, and that's also what creates this amazing atmosphere on the groups. Like we handpick the people who join, and like I'm going to Sweden, and I can't wait to meet Tony and Frida and our students from there. Like I made like 25 new friends here. It's amazing people. Every cohort has been absolutely, and you met them, Arman. Like you met them all.
yeah. And I just wanted to mention something in the end, Max, because what's really motivates me to keep going is because I love to be on stage. I am not doing a lot of coaching for months and so on, but sometimes I do it because I love to be on stage, and when I can speak to other in the audience after my talk, and when they say, actually, I'm now going to change something. So when they have made that decision because of me talking in 20, 30, 45 minutes, and they're going to change something that could actually change someone else's life, then it's worthwhile. Every preparation, every travel, every day you're away from your family, every hotel room you are now, it's worth it, because the impact we can have on the world is so massive, and the world needs it now. And I think we need more public speaker with sustainable messages.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super rewarding feeling Jeffrey just booked his call, and yeah, Jeffrey, also thank you for this wonderful evening and staying with us on this Tuesday night. I just want to finish up with, hey guys, we put a lot of effort and love and care into this webinar, preparing a lot. If you can leave a review on Google by scanning this, it would mean the world to us. And also, I just want to give a big shout out to Jordi, my colleague. He's been doing an amazing job putting this webinar together, handling all the tech. He's been talking to over 300 people on WhatsApp. And so Jordi, also big thank you for being like, this would not happen without him. So I'm very, very grateful, Jordi, for the great job you've done. And yeah, this has been an amazing journey so far. So yeah, we'll stay like 4 more minutes for last few questions if anyone has. And wow, this has been so much fun. I'm looking forward for all the one-on-ones we got booked now. This is amazing. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, this is this has been fun. Okay, yeah. Ooh. Gonna have an alcohol-free beer after this for sure. Yeah, and Arman, good luck to you tomorrow on your speech. I think that's gonna be fun.
Thank you.
And hey everyone, like again, we're flexible on payment terms. We want people to succeed, get their story out, and yeah, we are here for you guys from the start to the end. And it doesn't stop after this. We have the mastermind group. Today was really fun in the mastermind group. Like we had people from the first cohort to the last cohort. So somebody's already like negotiating gigs and somebody's getting on stage. Then you have the last who's still working on. And it's just, we're trying to build the best speaker community in Europe. Like really, this is the best speaker community, and having those people supporting you, cheering for you, sharing advice. In the mastermind group, Håkon, he speaks a lot in museums. And Camille, he knew a museum manager, so he just made that introduction. And then Frida in Sweden, she knows a museum manager, so she also introduced to Håkon. And then Håkon, he helped someone designing a workshop. And that's a good thing about speakers. We're all helping each other. I have the question about speaking English in France. I had a session today, one-on-one with Sylvie, who speaks about sustainability. And I messaged Elisabeth Eide, and she speaks about sustainability in Norway. She joined the call and she just shared everything to Sylvie, which companies to attract, what to include in the presentation, boom. Any guidance where you can search for the kind of subjects that are in demand right now? Yeah, I have a really good overview over that because I always talk to Nils what is in demand. So in the beginning, on the first week, we make sure that there's basically 2 things we need to establish the first week. One is, what is your goal? Do you want to be a full-time public speaker, or do you want to be a part-time public speaker? Because based on that, we need to create your message to match with the right audience. If you want to do a part-time speaker like me, my goal has always been to have 10 to 15 gigs every year to make that 30-40K that pays for my motorcycle. I'm now taking my sailing license. I'm planning to buy, if I want to buy a new car, then those 30-40K is just so nice extra income. If you then you can go a little bit more niche. And that makes it easier because it's less competition. If your goal is to become a full-time public speaker, then we need to maybe think a bit broader, but still find something that makes you unique in that field. So yeah, we're gonna look at, we're gonna do the guidance, like to make sure your subject is in demand right now. Yeah, very good question. Thank you for that. Okay, guys, thank you so much for showing up. This was amazing, really, really fun. Arman, I'll send you a Google link. Me and you and Jordi can, do a high five after this. But hey, leave a review if you can, and sign up on the one-on-one call. The one-on-one call is free. Worst case, we have a good coffee and get to know each other. And yeah, thank you so much, guys. This was amazing. Perfect. See you then.